can connect an external drive to your PAL and be able to retrieve. I think you can hear the YouTube. There's a little. I think you can see it. I think someone asked me about renaming them. So with a keyboard, you can be able to change the names of each of your files. And this is, you can also file which you don't need. Are there any questions? Yeah, 30 minutes, 500 MB. So it will keep creating new files. Yeah.
If the maximum you can record is 30 minutes, you'll have to add all those files to make a single file of a recording of 1 hour. Two files to make it one. So that if you're going to throw them on YouTube, it will be a single recording.
Any more questions? Yes? Yes. Well, for now, since we have not connected the projector directly to your network, your laptop would have to be inside there, in the control. We went here, our sources. See, okay, this is what's being streamed out. Did that answer your question? Yes.
It's on the computer itself.
Yes.
How do I connect? You are getting me?
At the moment, your laptop would be inside that room.
Okay, let's say I'm teaching maybe Microsoft Office.
Yes.
And I want that lecture to be delivered as if, I don't know whether it's making sense.
You have it as a source and
okay.
So it will be showing on the projector. At the same time, it will be showing on the stream. That answer?
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's one other thing I need to show you also.
You know, like if you're using Skype with business, you can add all the different users for that particular stream. How possible will that be? Shall we have to add the channels or?
No. What they'll see is what is on your stream. What's being streamed.
Oh.
I think the volume is just low.
She doesn't follow instructions.
Mark,
You who is loud.
raise the volume, man.
Okay.
Now do.
Now it's much better. Who was the problem? We want to integrate like different people. Now the feedback now gets distorted. In the event that we have 3 different classes, even if they are just here at Mukono, we have like different courses, maybe nursing, public admin, and BBA, but they are all taking like the same course, and we do stream. Can we be able like to have that class integrated as one? We have
I think what Dorcas is trying to ask is, can
So what would you want to see from those classes? Like,
simultaneous.
there are 3 classes happening at the same time. 3 teachers are teaching at the same time. You would need 3 different infrastructures,
3 different settings.
3 different. So for each location you have, you need a system. There's also a switcher. Testing, hello, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. Testing YouTube audio. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. Testing. Hello. Yes, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello?
But then we need to do something about it.
There are still echoes, some echoes.
Now, apart from those ones,
The echo.
But you wouldn't be using YouTube in this room if you're attending the class. So that's why you wouldn't be able to hear the echo if you're outside.
apart from those ones, for me, what I'm
David,
saying, apart from those ones,
you want to have
shout.
me after lunch.
What I'm saying, apart from those ones, you have to shout.
He had
What I'm
to
saying,
shout.
apart from the echoes, you have to shout. For us to be able. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we need to adjust that.
I wanted.
What did you need to connect it on the network?
I wanted to show you this dashboard. It will help the person who's controlling it either from the control room or even in the classroom. You have different displays. This one can give you information about what's happening. Then you can select to view your different sources. Let's say the different channels we had added. There's channel, there's auto B. Just what have been streaming. Channel 4. Yeah, so this can help the person who's controlling. Also, you have a live switcher. It has nothing. But you, these are all resources that can help the person controlling. We get the question about the dashboard. control your stream from here. The stream just fits there.
That corrugated part of the road. So right now we're looking for money to see if we can resurface that. All things being equal, and with your prayers, we will see how we can include this short distance in front of the university within that contract, because the contract will start from here. And so my technical team must remind me, because when we sign these contracts, you don't remember all the things you've promised elsewhere. Vice Chancellor and the Director of Student Affairs and Guild President, I respect your
I'm just wondering why. Because I mean, the need is accessible. We access it. All of the access is because we understand
Yes.
the idea. That it should be, the video should be ready. So I'm just wondering why it is.
Streaming?
Yes, because it's YouTube. Yes, but
YouTube. YouTube server.
I'm just talking about this thing.
Yes.
This, not the YouTube, because it seems to be actually better on YouTube than it is. Because on YouTube it will even show you fine, but this on the device itself, which is seated on this one, should be even be better.
The device? For example, let me now put the what the camera is feeding there.
Even here is what has already gone to YouTube. Like dedicated for, yes.
So I think you can see this is much better. So your recorded image would look something like that. Yes. Sorry?
I just have a small question. Said I have a small question. Now my question is,